Hello, Ryan, thank you for putting this together. This is a really important moment to have all of these elected officials here standing behind hemp. We are not going to get this change without their help and their leadership. So thank you again. It is really impactful. For those of us that are in the industry, to all of us in the industry, this is personal. This is our livelihoods. These are the livelihoods of our employees. We've got a year to fight, and we will fight all the way to the end. So the good things always come in threes. You have the Minnesota Miracle in 1973 when Governor Wendell Anderson was on the cover of Time magazine describing the Minnesota was the good life. That was followed up more recently by the Minneapolis Miracle. Stephon Diggs kicking the Saints out of the playoffs. And I think
Really bringing up the Vikings.
You got it. I think the third miracle is the miracle of the Minnesota hemp model. When the Minnesota legislature changed the law in 2022 to allow low-dose hemp products to be sold in Minnesota, it inadvertently saved much of the Minnesota craft beer industry. In addition to saving breweries and jobs, it led to the creation of a framework that can be modeled at the federal scale. Regulation and testing, age gating of 21 overs, taxes. I have over $30 million generated in Minnesota. I've heard 16, I've heard 11. I'll take the federal and state elected reps to use their numbers. And penalties for non-compliance. The bad actors cannot ruin a whole industry. Bad actors need to be out of the industry or penalized, because banning the industry, prohibition won't work. We've seen it before. So let's find a way to regulate it properly. And Minnesota has that model. I think our model directly and effectively addresses the issues that Mitch McConnell, the Beer Institute, the Distilled Spirits Council, and the Wine Institute all identified when they called for a ban on low-dose hemp products due to the lack of regulation. The Minnesota Model Miracle can work at the federal level while still giving states their own ability to impose their own rules. I want to share a story about Surly's experience since the pandemic. The fact of the matter is the beer market has significantly contracted over the past 5 years. Surly, like many other breweries, has seen almost a 50% reduction in beer sold in taproom traffic. Our original brewery in Brooklyn Center that many folks have been to when we started was making so little beer we discussed the option of closing that facility. We only had 5 employees working at that spot. Because Minnesota became a fast leader in the hemp beverage business, we jumped in and have invested over $6 million in that space, really to focus in on the contract packaging space, making THC beverages for other people. We now employ 30 people at that location and another 12 at our warehouse that are simply making THC products. All of those employees count on the low-dose hemp business to pay their mortgages, their rent, put food on the table, and healthcare. Minnesota has been a leader in the low-dose hemp business, and now it's time for Minnesota politicians to take that baton and help the Minnesota model become the federal model for a regulated, responsible, and taxed framework. Let's save the industry and show the country what Minnesota can do when it works together. Thank you.